Hi, Scott Machine Gun Dad. Welcome back to the channel. This is another one of the, I know a guy, the same gentleman that sold me the old Colt sold me this PPK. Well, what do you need another PPK for, Scott? Well, I don't really need another PPK. But when he originally sent me the information, he thought this gun was a pre-war, like 1931, 1932 PPK, because this is the box it came in. And this is the original box. They call this the alligator box. So we're going to move in on the gun, and then I'm going to show you the box up close, and then I'll come back and talk about it. We moved in close on the PPK. First of all, as you can see, the serial number on the slide matches the one on the receiver, except there's no suffix, there's no A. Here's the A. If you hear heavy breathing in the back, that's not Nick looking at the gun collection. That's our new family member being excited because he's having attention paid to him. Right here is a 67, which means this gun was made in 1967. But I'm going to flip it over and I want to show you, this is the key thing to look on, the ones that don't say inner arms but are still imported. I'm going to spin this around. Right here it says made in West Germany. Let me see if I can get this to an angle where the light will reflect. That's a dead giveaway that this is obviously a post-war gun, because there was no West Germany prior to 1945. But as you can see, this gun is in incredible condition. So let's move back out. You just saw the gun up close along with the box. Why did Scott buy this PPK? Really more to teach you guys about it, as it was a learning experience. The box, the serial number listed on the box is 121295, which is the number on the gun. So I understand when the guy who I bought this from looked it up on the internet, if you look at the serial number production of that era, there are some gaps, and that fits in a gap right around 1931, 1932. Well, the problem with that is when I got the gun and he brought it over, well, I saw the brown grips. That kind of makes it look like a Nazi gun. But right up here, as you saw in the close-ups, it says made in West Germany, right where my finger is. There was no West Germany until 1945. So this has to be a post-war gun. Also, the serial number has an A suffix, which isn't on the box. You look it up with the A suffix, it's in the 60s. So I did some more research, because it doesn't have imported by or manufactured by or made under license by, all that stuff that was required in the 68 Gun Control Act. This series of PPK, they took the last 2 years, 2 nut digits from the year, and put it on the barrel. This one has a 67, so this gun was made in 1967. And then I actually found pictures of 3 guns that were exactly like this, and they are all inner arms imports, 67, 68, before the 1968 Gun Control Act. That's why it doesn't say imported by inner arms on it. So I actually found the exact era of firearms. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because if you look at this gun, it looks like a pre-war PPK, especially if somebody was unscrupulous and they scratched off or milled off the made in West Germany. And especially with the alligator box, because most post-war PPKs come with a blue Walther box. There's a huge price difference. Now, I'm just throwing numbers out there to give you an idea. This is not exactly what they're worth, but a gun like this will save $500. If this was a Nazi one from the 30s, $2,000, maybe 3 to 4 times more money. So you have to be careful. You have to look for the proof marks. And another thing is the nitro proof is missing on the barrel, which was a pre-war proof mark, which if you watch my PP video, it's in there. So the big thing is you have a gun that most people are going to think is a $2,000 gun. In reality, it's way less than that. But still a German-made PPK, which means we have to go out and shoot it, which I haven't done yet. So let's take it outside. Pull back, let go. We were outside with the PPK. We had Nick had some trouble because he wasn't, I didn't tell him, one of the magazines we had is actually a 380 PP magazine. So he was trying to, he kind of like over-inserted it because he didn't realize it didn't, a PP sticks out. It was my bad for not telling him. What did you think of the gun overall?
It's another, it's a Walther in the PP series. I do like the brown grips on it. It fits a lot more comfortably in my hand than I thought it would. I was not an idiot this time and got the meat in my hand way too high up there. I did not do that. I held it nice and low so it didn't bite me, which was great. I had a little bit of a hard time engaging the magazine release. It just felt a bit stiff trying to remove the magazine, but that might just be parts wear and stuff like that. The sights, I am not the biggest fan of. They kind of just exist. They're the same as the rest of the PP series. It's a fantastic little, like, pocket carry self-defense handgun, but I'd get it for a collector's piece. There's a lot of different pieces out there that fulfill its role better nowadays, but you do easily win off style points.
Yeah. I think one of the problems we had was when Nick was shooting, it was failure to extract. And I think what the problem is, when I got this gun, it was so dry there was actually rust inside of it. I think the extractor is dry. It's a spring-loaded extractor. I probably should have dropped some oil in there. I don't think it's moving freely, and it's when it's jumping over the case rim, it's staying out instead of going back in against the case. Same thing with the magazine catch. I oiled the gun overall, but I did not oil the magazine catch. Now, as far as this being a German PPK versus the stainless steel inner arms, I think the trigger pull on this is quicker and crisper. But that's right, there's no sights. It's a belly gun, and it's an extremely expensive belly gun. Should you buy one? Yeah, you should, because it's firearms history. Should you buy one to carry? No, do not. Buy something else. A Beretta 81, a Beretta 84, a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. If you want a 380, a Smith & Wesson EZ, something like that. Actually, for carry, I would prefer a 9mm. But it's hard to argue with a German-made PPK as far as a really nice piece of gun history.
It's got history behind it. It looks cool. If you see any pop culture media of any kind, you've seen some variant of the PP somewhere.
What always cracks me up is whether it's James Bond or whoever's using the PP, they're making shots at 25, 30 yards with this gun. And there are no sights on this gun. I mean, there are sights, but realistically, they're 7-yard sights. They're not 25-yard sights. And then they put a suppressor on it, which would cover up the sights anyway. And they're still hitting people at 25 yards. Really cool piece of history. As I said, the main reason I bought it is how nice a condition it is, and the fact that this could easily be confused for a Nazi one, and to show you how not to get ripped off. Thanks for coming to the channel. Cool piece of history. See you soon.